Okay, so after a break, let's start with reservation of right of disposal. Everyone, write down this in your notebook. Reservation of right of disposal. Reservation of right of disposal. Section number 25. Section number 25, reservation of right of disposal. Now, what do you mean by this topic? Reservation of right of disposal is reserving your rights to dispose of the goods. Yes, reserving your rights to deliver the goods. म्हणजे goods तुम्ही directly deliver करत नाही आहे. You are reserving some of your rights for the ultimate disposal of the goods. So just write down few things, then I'll explain you into detail. Write down reservation. Reservation of right of disposal means seller has the rights relating to delivery of goods. Means seller has the rights relating to delivery of the goods. For example, seller, example 1, असे 2-3 example देते. Seller can tell that the goods will be delivered only upon payment of goods. For example, seller can ask the buyer to clear the old dues. Seller can ask for advance payment. So what is seller doing here? Seller is trying to reserve his right to deliver the goods. Seller is telling that I will not transfer the ownership till you have made the payment of the price, till you have cleared the old dues, till you have made advance payment or any other situation. Yes, the case can be anything. But there are some conditions on the ultimate disposal of the goods. Is it very clear? Seller is trying to keep certain conditions on the ultimate disposal of the goods. That only is called as reservation of right of disposal. Is it very clear? Where the seller is keeping conditions. If buyer you fulfill the condition, I will transfer the ownership. If the conditions are not fulfilled, even the ownership will never be transferred. Is it very clear? Yes. And this condition, this reservation of right of disposal is a valid condition. Is it clear? So you can just write down. This disposal condition is a valid condition. The seller will hold the ownership of the goods till the conditions are fulfilled. The seller will hold the ownership of the goods. Yes, ownership of the goods टिल द कंडिशन्स आर फुलफिल्ड. येस, या सगळ्या ठिकाणी सेलर काय करत आहे, स्वतःचं पोझिशन सिक्युअर ठेवत आहे. इन शॉर्ट, सेलर इज कीपिंग हिज पोझिशन व्हेरी सिक्युअर बाय होल्डिंग द ओनरशिप ऑफ द गुड्स. ही विल ट्रान्सफर ओनली अपॉन वॉट एव्हर कंडिशन्स ही हॅज इम्पोज्ड. येस, कोणतेही कंडिशन असू दे, ते सगळे कंडिशन इम्पोज केलेले ज्या वेळेस तुम्ही फुलफिल करणार मग ओनरशिप ट्रान्सफर होणार, नाही तर ओनरशिप ट्रान्सफर होणार नाही. इज इट व्हेरी क्लिअर? व्हेरी 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 क्लिअर. येस, इट इज totally opposite to section number 23(2). Go to 23(2) and tell me where did you read section number. It is totally opposite to section number 23 subsection 2. Yes, turn your pages. Tell me where did you come across this section. कुठं तरी वाचलंय आतापर्यंत. यू हॅव रेड इट समवेअर. Okay, I'll make it more easy. You have read it in unit number 3. Unit number 3. तिथं तुम्ही काहीतरी लिहिलेला पण होता. येस, डिलिव्हरी टू कॅरियर असं करून तुम्ही डॅश करून अनकंडिशनल अप्रोप्रिएशन पण लिहिलं असणार. डिलिव्हरी टू कॅरियर डॅश unconditional appropriation. It is totally opposite to section 23(2). Yes, this section, reservation of right of disposal, is nothing but conditional appropriation of goods. Is nothing but conditional appropriation of goods, where the goods will be delivered only upon some conditions. The ownership will be given only upon certain conditions. That is why it is called as conditional appropriation. And 23(2) मध्ये तुम्ही काय बघितलेला? Delivery to carrier is equivalent to delivery to buyer. The buyer becomes the owner of the goods as soon as you deliver it to the carrier. म्हणजे कॅरियरला दिल्याच बायर यू गेट द ओनरशिप राईट्स. का? कारण का ते अनकंडिशनल अप्रोप्रिएशन होतं. यू डिड नॉट इम्पोज एनी कंडिशन्स ऑन द डिलिव्हरी ऑफ द गुड्स. बायर स्ट्रेट अवे बिकम्स द ओनर ऑफ द गुड्स. But opposite is section number 25, where you are imposing certain conditions on the delivery of the goods. Is it very clear? Very, very, very clear, everyone. Yes. So one side write down unconditional appropriation. And the other side write down conditional appropriation. फर्स्ट, ओके, ह्याच्यामध्ये डिफरन्स बिटवीन कधी तुम्हाला येणार नाही एक्झाममध्ये. वी आर रायटिंग सो दॅट यू अंडरस्टँड बोथ द कॉन्सेप्ट्स व्हेरी नाईसली. इज इट क्लिअर? दिस इज स्टेटेड अंडर सेक्शन 23(2). दिस इज स्टेटेड अंडर सेक्शन 25. इज इट व्हेरी क्लिअर? दिस सेक्शन टॉक्स अबाउट डिलिव्हरी टू कॅरियर इज इक्विव्हॅलंट टू delivery to buyer. Here, delivery to carrier is not equal to delivery to buyer. Ka? Because you are reserving, because the reservation of right of disposal. Buyer immediately becomes the owner of the goods. I hope everyone is with me. Yes, I hope everyone is writing along with me. buyer immediately becomes the owner of goods. Here buyer becomes the owner only on fulfillment of certain conditions. Done with writing this much? Yes, everyone. Here we will say seller does not impose any conditions. Here seller can impose certain conditions for disposal or delivery of goods. मैं disposal word use करना because that is more appropriate. Our title also is reservation of right of disposal. Are you understanding now? आता तुम्हाला आय होप अनकंडिशनल अप्रोप्रिएशन पण एकदम नीट कळालं असेल. अनकंडिशनल अप्रोप्रिएशन मध्ये काहीच कंडिशन्स नाही. स्ट्रेट अवे बायर यू आर द ओनर ऑफ द गुड्स. बट कंडिशनल अप्रोप्रिएशन रिझर्वेशन ऑफ राईट मध्ये कंडिशन्स आर इम्पोज्ड. Only on fulfillment buyer you become the owner. If conditions are not fulfilled, buyer you can never become the owner of the goods. Is it very clear? Yes. Though मी goods एका carrierला deliver करत आहे, though I am delivering the goods to the carrier, but the buyer you cannot become the owner of the goods till you fulfill the condition. Is it very clear? First case मध्ये काय section 23(2) मध्ये डिलिव्हरला गुड्स डिलिव्हर केले बायर यू बिकम द ओनर. येस वी कन्सिडर द गुड्स आर युअर्स. बट 25 मध्ये तसं नाही आहे. कॅरियरला जरी दिले तरी पण सेलर इज स्टील द ओनर ऑफ द गुड्स. दिस इज मेनली टू प्रोटेक्ट द सेलर्स पोझिशन की मला लॉसेसमधनं प्रोटेक्शन पाहिजे. व्हॉट इफ द बायर डज नॉट पे. येस उद्या जाऊन जर बायरनी पेमेंट नाही जर केलं तर काय करणार. बेटर वे रिझर्व युअर राईट्स. इज इट व्हेरी क्लिअर. येस कमिंग टू युअर बुक्स. This section preserves the right of disposal to secure that the price is paid before the ownership passes to the buyer. Yes, mainly to secure the seller. Yes, this is mainly to protect the seller. This section is mainly to protect the seller. Where there is a contract for specific goods or where goods have been specifically appropriated to the contract, the seller may, by the terms of the contract or appropriation as the case may be, the seller may reserve the right of disposal until certain conditions have been fulfilled. Payment ही एक condition आहे. असा हजारो condition अजून असू शकतात. In such case, in spite of the fact that goods have already been delivered to the buyer or carrier or other bailey for the purpose of transferring to the buyer, the property will not pass to the buyer until the conditions have been imposed. Yes, carrierला जरी दिले तर buyer आम्ही तुला ओनरशिप देणार नाही. We are going to reserve this right. So until the conditions which have been imposed by the seller are fulfilled, we are not going to transfer the ownership of the goods. X sends furniture to a company by truck and instruct the truck driver not to deliver the furniture until the payment is made by the company. या सेंटेन्स वरूनच कळतंय की seller you have reserved the right of disposal. The property will pass only when the payment is made, not when the goods are delivered to carrier. Is it very clear? Yes. Circumstances under which the right of disposal may be reserved. म्हणजे काय? ह्याचा अर्थ आहे इन द फॉलोइंग केसेस it is assumed that seller has reserved the right of disposal. In the following cases, it is assumed that the seller has reserved the right of disposal. Where goods are shipped, म्हणजे सी रूट आम्ही यूज केलेलं आहे, ओके, और रेल्वेनी पाठवलेत, ओके, अँड बिल ऑफ लेडिंग और रेल्वे रिसिट. तुम्हाला माहितीच आहे, सी रूटनी जर तुम्ही गुड्स जर पाठवला, यू यूज द बिल ऑफ लॅडिंग. रेल्वेनी पाठवला, रेल्वे रिसिट. ॲज द केस मे बी, अँड वेअर द गुड्स आर डिलिव्हर्ड टू द ऑर्डर ऑफ द सेलर, म्हणजे सेलरनी म्हटले गुड्स माझ्या ऑर्डरवरतीच डिलिव्हर करायचे. इफ आय गिव्ह द ऑर्डर, डिलिव्हर. इफ आय डोंट गिव्ह द ऑर्डर, डू नॉट डिलिव्हर. इन दिस केस वी विल से सेलर you have reserved your right of disposal. Is it very clear? Section number 25 apply होणार, where seller you have reserved the right of disposal. आता सेलरनी इन केस डॉक्युमेंट्स ऑफ टायटल पण देऊन टाकले असतील, येस, बिल ऑफ लॅडिंग दिला असेल, रेल्वे रिसिट पण दिलेला आहे, येस, डॉक्युमेंट्स ऑफ टायटल जरी दिला असेल, स्टील बायर यू डू नॉट बिकम द ओनर ऑफ द गुड्स. Where the seller draws a bill on the buyer for the price and sends to him the bill of exchange together with the bill of lading. Bill of lading is your document of title. लिहू शकता इथं. The railway receipt to secure the acceptance of payment, the buyer must return the bill of lading if he does not make the payment. म्हणजे काय, तो बिल ऑफ लॅडिंग पण आता व्हॅलिड राहणार नाही जर तुम्ही कंडिशन्स फुलफिल नाही केले. नाहीतर आपण काय म्हणतो, द वन हू होल्ड्स द डॉक्युमेंट्स बिकम्स द ओनर ऑफ द गुड्स. पण तो रूल पण आम्ही इथं अप्लाय नाही करणार. Yes, if you are not making the payment, it is your duty to return the documents of title. If you unlawfully retain them, still you don't become the owner of the goods. If he wrongfully retains the documents of title, the property also will not pass to the buyer. Yes, the document only will not be considered as a valid document. It should be noted that, okay, त्याने खूपच लवकर सांगितलं ना, 25 is nothing but conditional appropriation which must be distinguished from unconditional appropriation dealt in section 23(2). म्हणजे एकदमच लवकर सांगितलं इन्स्टिट्यूटनी की ओढीवे जे तुम्ही करत होता ना ते सगळं कंडिशनल अप्रोप्रिएशन आहे, आणि पाठीमागे जे तुम्ही केलेला 23(2) मध्ये दॅट वॉज अनकंडिशनल अप्रोप्रिएशन. दे बोथ आर टोटली ऑपोजिट, बोथ आर टोटली डिफरंट दॅन ईच अदर. इज इट व्हेरी क्लिअर? इज इट व्हेरी क्लिअर एव्हरीवन? येस. Okay, so here we have come to the end of Sale of Goods Act. Each and everything is completed. Now, after this, if you face any difficulty, okay, your homework is solve all the questions, okay. 2 आणि 4 चे काय आपण क्लासमध्ये डिस्कस केलेले आहेत. 1 आणि 3 जे तुमचे रेकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स झालेत, फॉर दिस आय रिक्वेस्ट यू, please go through all the descriptive questions. Wherever you face a difficulty, you can ask me. We will discuss it in the class. Yes, so here we come to the end. In the next session, we'll start with partnership. See you all in the next session. Until then, bye, take care, have a nice day.